Hello, we're going to talk about cancelling fractions because we need to be able to do that after we have multiplied fractions together. We already know that we can multiply to make equivalent fractions, but we can also divide to make equivalent fractions, and this is all often called cancelling a fraction. So for example, if you had the fraction 8 over 10, you can divide those two numbers by 2 and it makes the fraction 4 over 5. These two fractions are called equivalent, but this is the best and tidiest way. 4 over 5 is the best way to write the answer, okay? So if you had 15 over 20, you can't divide those numbers by 2, but you could divide by 5. So 5 goes into 15 3 times, and 5 goes into 20 4 times. So you have cancelled a fraction, and it looks like this now, 3 over 4. They have exactly the same value, but it just looks differently and it's tidier. The next fraction, 12 over 42. Well, you could divide by 2. You could divide by 3, in fact. But you should always try and think of the biggest number that will go into both of them. And the biggest number that will go into both of these would be 6. So the quickest way to do this one would be divide by 6. And 6 goes into 12 2 times. 6 goes into 42 7 times. And you have now got your cancelled fraction, 2 sevenths. So let's look at this one, 9 over 15. What will go into both of those? 3. So you'll divide by 3. And 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 15 5 times. Then we're going to have a little look at the next one, what will divide into these two? 11. Divide by 11. And you get 3 over 7. So think about what you have to do. You have to look at the fraction, look at the two numbers and think, what number will go into both top and bottom? And then you divide by that number, and then you get your equivalent fraction, your cancelled fraction. So we use this method after we have multiplied fractions together like we did last week, and it just makes the answer a little bit tidier. So for example, if we had 3/10 times 4/5, so like we did last week, 3 4s are 12, 5 times 10 is 50. Our answer would have been 12 times 50. But we look at 12 and 50 and we realise that we could cancel this fraction. We could divide these two numbers by 2. So we're going to divide by 2. So we get 6 on the top and 25 on the bottom. And this is the best way to write the answer, 6 over 25. This is correct. 12 over 50 is correct, but this is the best way, the cancelled way. So let's do a couple of examples. 9 over 10 times 2 over 3. So first of all, you multiply them. 18 over 30, like we did last week. Now we want to cancel that fraction. So we look at the two numbers. 2 would definitely go in, but actually 3 would go in, and also 6 would go in. So 6 we'll divide by 6. 6 into 18 goes 3 times. 6 into 30 goes 5 times. Okay? So we'll try another one. Say we have a half times 4 over 5. So we want to multiply them first. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10. So you look at the two numbers and you realise that 2 will go into both of those. So divide by 2 and you get 2 over 5. And that's the best answer, 2 over 5. One more example. Say we had 3/4 times 8 over 11. So 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 11 is 44. You look at the two numbers and you think, what goes into both of these? Well, 2 will go in definitely, but also 4 will go in. Now there's nothing bigger than 4, so we'll divide by 4. So 4 goes into 24 6 times. 4 goes into 44 11 times. Now just when you're deciding what to divide by, remember it has to go into both numbers, and you're better to pick the biggest number that you can think of, because if you don't pick the biggest number, you're not really finishing the question. Okay, so that is cancelling fractions with your multiplication of fractions. And there will be a worksheet to do so.